everything we can to make you or your day fulfilled one. Giving you information, giving you, educating you alongside, and everything, entertaining you alongside. But then, I am here already, and Chichomzi is in the studio this morning to tell us something. To some persons, it might be very strange to you. To some, it's not really strange. To some, oh yeah, I've tried it and it works because it's quite practical. But then I would want you to listen very, very good this morning. The owners of Gada.chat are coming up with something really, really mega, extra, an addition to what they've been doing before, just to make sure, you get to the root of money.
Once. And poverty is passing over this opportunity repeatedly. So which means poverty is a choice. It's not disadvantage, or it's not what you just found yourself in. Is what you put yourself in.
Okay.
That's the meaning. So today we are bringing opportunities to Nigerians, real legal opportunities. The one that if you carry it out, you won't have to blame anybody. From today, you will start improving yourself, start doing it yourself.
Okay.
I was listening to one guy this morning. He said the person that will help you make good money is the person that tells you the truth. It's not a person that comes to social media and be flinging money up and down. See what I've made today. I've traded today. I made billions.
Like Yahoo Boy.
Like Yahoo Boys. Like CBEX. He said no. That these people are not telling you the truth. Before you start throwing money up, you must have done one thing or the other, underground work that will lead you there. And that is the point I'm making.
Before rain fall, you supposed to build canal.
You see, you supposed to build canal so that when it falls, you have still a way to move without disturbing the residents.
Okay.
You see? So now, we have seen that Nigerians are doing it wrong. Trust me. All this foreign, whatever that enters, they will just jump into it. They will look at the money. Somebody called me this morning. I said the other one is voting now. When you vote, so that you have to vote.
Another platform
don't come vote. You vote. After 7 days, the money will come back.
CBEX never shine their eye.
No.
For real.
I said, please, I know if I tell you don't vote, you will not agree. But please do it small. Use the money we use and drink in the bar. Go and do it.
Okay.
Don't use the money you use to pay your children's school fees and do this thing. I'm begging you. He said, Mama, leave that thing. The thing has entered their blood and is a distraction. When you are used to Ponzi, it will distract you to the real business. Trust me. Now, look at our Gada social media. It's a social media platform like Facebook. You come in, you post. People comment. Go to your wallet, your money is dropping there. But it didn't stop there. It doesn't just do that alone. If you come to Facebook, people do adverts, pay for the adverts. People get monetized. They receive money from the Facebook, even in YouTube, everywhere. There are other things that is involved. They sell their shares. They do this. So, why not come into this kind of platform, find out the things they do? And these opportunities are not just for the rich or the poor.
For everybody.
It's for everybody.
Okay.
Career people, traders, students, name it. Now, we have noticed that there is this big, when I say huge money in digital assets, my brother Jude, money dead digital assets. And the only way to learn how to get this money in digital assets is by undergoing training. So we have thought about it. My company said, no, let us train people on how to trade on digital assets.
Okay.
You train, when you receive the training, you start practicing it yourself. Stop giving people your money.
Okay.
That person you are giving money to do it for you, learn it. Learn your own. So for this reason, we have organized a training alongside our Gather platform. We now have a digital training for people that want to be making money online on a daily basis.
Oh, beautiful.
Jude, do you know
This
that
is
a student of mine, the reason is that I train them to be simple, to keep their eyes simple. Don't look at profit. If I bring $10,000, $2,000 now, or $200, I'm gonna make $10,000 in 1 week. No, keep it low. Do it step by step, one stage at a time. Even if it's $10 you make today, is beautiful. Even if you make $5, beautiful. 20, even if you lose today, beautiful. Because you are a failure when you fail to do further attempts. When you fall out.
When you dey cook ogbono, no dey quick, no be immediately they draw for inside.
Thank you. Sometimes when you start, you say this ogbono no dey draw. By the time you finish putting everything, if you turn out, ooh, it go draw.
That's a bank ogbono.
You get them now.
Continue.
Jude. Do you understand? So now, we teach people how to simplify their life.
Okay.
And start digital trading. On a day, it gives money. Jude. If you hear all these people where on social media they advertise this person this way, they are real. It gives good money. My students are happy as they are trading. So let's all of us join hands together, do what is real. Stop aspects. We have almost 6 ways of money. So we have various ways. Anyone you choose, you start there. So this involves everybody.
All right.
No matter your age difference. Now we don't say legal age 18 because people are children of 14, 15 are using social media very well. Some are even millionaires in social world, in digital world. So we are calling everybody, come on Saturday. Let's envelope. Let's open this more than 10 ways of making legal money online.
Legally.
Because this money is too much in the space. Trust me. That is where the money is. Digital. A lot of people get shop off in a physical world. Like in...
Alaba, Spanda.
You know. Oshodi Market, all these places.
Okay.
Airport Road. It's only people that pass these areas can patronize you. But when you move into digital space, everybody, people, when they wake up, they pick their phone, they check social media, they check this place, they check assets, they check this. So as they are surfing those areas, they are becoming your clients, your customers. Make money online. Make money online. The money, you know, these days people don't talk oil money anymore. Now before, he's working in an oil company, hey, people will be respecting. Now, that one is a chaotic way of making millions. But in social platform, you make billions there. So let us come in and learn the way.
I would also want you to touch on this gather.chat platform where people can make that one. I know that one well. So some persons would also want you to touch on that and also enlighten people. Let us know how
to. Gather social media platform, you don't need to be monetized to start making money. In other social media platform, you must be monetized. Sometimes they will give you a condition. You must have 5,000 followers. But here is not like that. Once you come in, start posting. People start commenting, follow somebody, activate your followers. That one gives money too. Try and buy the shares, try and buy the assets. Gather social media has an asset.
Okay.
The asset appreciates every day. You know, so try and buy it, post things, become a pro user. If you come there, you see how much that it will cost you to be a pro user. A pro user means that you are now one of the chiefs. Yeah, titled men in the in the chief's cabinet. You are one of the entitlement. You know, your entitlement will not be like floor members now.
Okay.
So when you are posting, you check what you are making is bigger than when you are not a pro member. You know, this pro member is just for big boys, but ordinary anybody can come in there, be posting, you'll be seeing money steady. Some people will draw 3,000, 4,000 students. Some people will draw 100,000, 150, 70. They are the pro members.
And you used to say gather.chat is like every other social media platform, right?
Like Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram. That is how it is. It's not difficult to use. Just go to your browser, type in. You can download it now. You can download it now. Okay. But if some people don't know this process of downloading, just go straight to your browser, put gada.chat. People keep sending me GATHER. I don't know where you got that spelling. GADA.CHAT. That's all.
Gather.chat.
Gather.chat. When you type it, you see purple background, you see join, touch join. That's all. And now this training, I have a good news. The training is taking place in our office.
Oh,
in
beautiful.
Ikeja. It's no longer a rented space. So now we have our office at Ikeja. Come in there and have your training. You know, if you have any issue, any question, anything you need to put, then we need to put you through. Come any day.
Okay.
We are there in the office to assist you. So you don't have to be afraid of anything. You don't have to be afraid of buying your assets, buying your shares and all training.
So getting involved in this training, how do we go about it? For those who are interested, who wants to get involved in your training, you know, how to get this thing done is the cocoa right now. Especially for me, like I said, gather.chat. All right.
Exactly.
Everyone, gather is like your Facebook, is like YouTube, is like Instagram, is like Twitter and all of that. You only go there to post stuff. You don't need to be monetized, and of course, when you post and people start engaging it, you start making money without monetization. So that is what I would love to add to it, because I've had several conversation with her outside the studio. All right. And so that's what it is. So for everyone who would want to know more about it, who want to get the venue or get involved in the training and much more that she has mentioned, I would want her to drop a number now, you know, that people can follow. All right.
Okay. Jude, let's call the number.
Okay.
080 375
375
057
057 37. Can we go over that number again?
080. Please send book me.
Okay, book me, right?
So this number.
Book you.
Book you.
Okay. Okay. Book me to
this number so that I keep a reservation for you on Saturday, because despite being our office, we are not going to accommodate everybody once. Then if you will follow the second batch, remember that if you come anything after 10, 11, you are joining second batch. So we will group it. In fact, that Saturday is a training day. So 080 375 057
37
0 8 0 3 7 5 0 5 7 3 7. Now the office address is number 9 Balogu Street, off Kudirat Abiora Way, Ikeja, Lagos. The nearest landmark is Alausa bus stop.
Okay.
Alausa bus stop in which area? Oregu. If you reach Computer Village, if you get to Under Bridge, Computer Village, not Lasso side, Computer Village, enter keke there to Ojota. Tell the keke that you are dropping at Alausa bus stop. Ask anybody Balogu Street, very close to the road, very close to the bus stop.
Okay.
Number 9 Balogu Street.
Number 9 Balogun Street.
Off Kudirat, Abiola Way, Oregu Ikeja, Lagos.
Okay.
The time for the training is 10 a.m. prompt. No African time, because the instructors have to organize themselves and attend to other things that day. So we shouldn't say because it's their office, I can come anytime. If you come, you join the second batch.
Okay.
So the number to send book me for Saturday's training remains 080
080
375
375
057
057
37
37
0
8
0 3
3
7
7
5
5
0
0 5 7
3 7.
7. Okay.
See you guys on Saturday.
I like the fact that you no longer mention the only sweet sensation.
No. And sweet sabo. I don't mention those.
You know.
So we now do it in our office.
Yeah, I think that's really beautiful.
Yes.
That's really beautiful.
Yes.
And especially for, like I used to say, the digital asset.
Yeah.
Is something you really need to get.
Exactly.
Seriously, you really need to get. Try something. Don't just sit down and say, just try it. Try it.
Try streams of income.
Try it first. Okay?
Very important.
And you will thank me later.
Yes, sir.
Yes. The number once again finally is 0803
75
750 5737. 0803 750 5737.
Good.
Yes. Thank you so much.
You're a good student. Thank you.
Thank you so much for calling.
Yeah.
Appreciate you.
Same here.
Yeah. This is Voice of the People 90.3 FM. We have a lot to talk about, okay? But Ikami Jude will be right back. We'll talk. Stay there. Don't go nowhere.
Ndewo, my country people. I say make I remind you now. The radio station where they allow you talk your mind, they for this Lagos. Now Voice of the People 90.3 FM, where you fit listen to better programs and shows. Hey, Oga wa town crier, ṣé wọ́n ní jòlí entertainment program ṣá? Of course! Do they have political programs and news for intellectual savvy people like me? Oga Professor, that one said they.
Excuse me, sir. Do they have children programs too?
My dear, children self get their own segment. Any other questions?
Wait, now what will be the radio station number? The frequency now 90.3 FM, Voice of the People. The number one bonus station where they give you a voice. Rush, make you go listen now.
Voice of the People.
VOP 90.3 FM, Voice of the People Radio.
Hello, is that Voice of the People Radio?
VOP 90.3 FM.
In a world where about 8 billion people are connected by click, there's a new way to get connected. Introducing the all-new VOP FM website, where talk meet innovations. Get ready to be tuned in.
I'm walking the
Tired of searching for the perfect station that matches your taste? Look no further. With our all-new easy-to-use website, you can now discover a world of conversations that resonate with you.
Whether you're a fan of news, business, sports, entertainment, or the latest chart-topping jams to suit your soul, the VOP FM website has got you covered.
It's a one-stop destination for all your cravings.
Experience seamless streaming with our user-friendly interface. Access our website on www.voiceofthepeople.ng from any device, be it your computer,
tablet,
or smartphone, and enjoy uninterrupted talk and news at your fingertips. www.voiceofthepeople.ng.
Voice of the People 90.3 FM.
Now you have a voice.
It's about that time for this conversation.
We want to know what the public has to say.
Your voice.
Subsidies removed.
My voice. Our voices must be heard.
Problem here as far as I'm concerned, is not helping the society because the way things are going now, everything has gone up.
For current news and daily updates, trends and vibes, vital information and more, tune in daily to the best radio station. VOP, Voice of the People, 90.3 FM, Lagos. Now, you have a voice. Speak from the views on the streets.
We go to bed empty hunger.
To the blaring horns of a hustling city. The loudest voices of the common man got a medium to be heard.
This particular administration, they were coming unprepared.
It's not a bad thing to renovate the president's lodge.
Through top-notch programming, unbiased reportage of news, sports, business, entertainment, and cultural documentaries, Voice of the People, 90.3 FM became a symbol for 21st century media. And now, a new baby is born. Voice of the People Television, VOP TV, youthful, full of vigor and pressure for excellence in the continent's media space, exposing the wrongs, applauding the rights, dissecting the news without fear or favor, through factual and accurate stories and contents.
Corruption kills three things that makes a society.
Representing the interests of the people and giving them a voice. Voice of the People TV is here to stay towards building a fair society. VOP TV, Voice of the People Television, truly a voice for the people. From the views on the streets.
We go to bed empty hunger.
To the blaring horns of a hustling city. The loudest voices of the common man got a medium to be heard.
This particular administration, they were coming unprepared.
It's not a bad thing to renovate the president's lodge.
Through top-notch programming, unbiased reportage of news, sports, business, entertainment, and cultural documentaries, Voice of the People, 90.3 FM became a symbol for 21st century media. And now, a new baby is born. Voice of the People Television, VOP TV, youthful, full of vigor and pressure for excellence in the continent's media space, exposing the wrongs, applauding the rights, dissecting the news without fear or favor, through factual and accurate stories and contents.
Corruption kills three things that makes a society.
Representing the interests of the people and giving them a voice. Voice of the People TV is here to stay towards building a fair society. VOP TV, Voice of the People Television, truly a voice for the people.
You see, when you look at the West, Europe and the US and all that, you come to find out that the leadership there are people whose values are different from what we have here. The leaders are not thinking of owning properties all over the world. Go to Dubai, buying like primitive acquisition. They'll buy houses in Dubai, buy in UK, buy in the US, buy in Caribbean. It's a cost. If you go to their houses, you see no less than 20 to 30 vehicles, and they enjoy it. They like moving in convoy of not less than 20, 30 vehicles at a time, so that they'll be the people that are calling the shots. In the US, if you are a governor of, let me give you an instance like California, which is the richest state in the US. You as a governor, if you dare put on convoy, you will not stay more than 24 hours in that office as governor of of California. You cannot. I gave you an instance the other time that in 2005, I went to eat in a restaurant. The governor of Texas drove in. He came alone. I didn't even know him. It was my late friend who took me out that was telling me that this man is the governor of Texas. If it were in Nigeria, they would drive away everybody in that restaurant. Or convoy with escort, police, DSS, military, everybody would have gone down the whole of the restaurant. Try it in America. The next day you are gone. And you may go to prison for even trying that. Who are you as a governor in the US for you to take a private jet? What they are doing here, this scam they are doing here and calling themselves governors. You dare not. If you try it, you pay through you tell them where you're going to get the money from to go and charter a jet. You enter the commercial jet and sit like every other person. Nobody cares. Nobody will be accompanying you to the airport, clearing everywhere. People People will be carrying bags. No, it's terrible. I landed in JFK 216. I was in the business class with one of the governors. He queued over there and he behaved himself. He cannot jump the queue. If he jumps the queue, he may end up not even entering US. They'll put him on the next flight and take him back to Nigeria, and there's nothing he can do. These are areas where they have sanity. These are areas that are welfare oriented, in as much as they're having hard times now because of the prevailing global economic situation. There's no madness in being in leadership or being in position of authority. They don't steal the way we are doing here. One man will own maybe 40 or 50 properties in the FCT because he has entered the political position in the government. It is a terrible thing. It is worrisome and it is disturbing. I pity the upcoming generation. Is this what we're going to bequeath to them? It's very unfortunate to say. You see, when we look at the West, Europe and the US and all that, you come to find out that the leadership there are people whose values are different from what we have here. The leaders are not thinking of owning properties all over the world. Go to Dubai, buying like primitive acquisition. They'll buy houses in Dubai, buy in UK, buy in the US, buy in Caribbean. It's a cost. If you go to their houses, you see no less than 20 to 30 vehicles, and they enjoy it. They like moving in convoy of not less than 20, 30 vehicles at a time, so that they'll be the people that are calling the shots. In the US, if you are a governor of, let me give you an instance like California, which is the richest state in the US. You, as a governor, if you dare put on convoy, you will not stay more than 24 hours in that office as governor of California. You cannot. I gave you an instance the other time that in 2005, I went to eat in a restaurant. The governor of Texas drove in. He came alone. I didn't even know him. It was my late friend who took me out that was telling me that this man is the governor of Texas. If it were in Nigeria, they'll drive away everybody in that restaurant. Or convoy with escort, police, DSS, military, everybody would have gone down the whole of the restaurant. Try it in America. The next day you are gone. And you may go to prison for even trying that. Who are you as a governor in the US for you to take a private jet? What they are doing here, this scam they are doing here and calling themselves governors. You dare not. If you try it, you pay through you tell them where you're going to get the money from to go and charter a jet. You enter the commercial jet and sit like every other person. Nobody cares. Nobody will be accompanying you to the airport, clearing everywhere. People will be carrying bags. No, it's terrible. I landed in JFK 216. I was in the business class with one of the governors. He queued over there and he behaved himself. He cannot jump the queue. If he jumps the queue, he may end up not even entering US. They'll put him on the next flight and take him back to Nigeria, and there's nothing he can do. These are areas where they have sanity. These are areas that are welfare oriented, in as much as they're having hard times now because of the prevailing global economic situation. There's no madness in being in leadership or being in position of authority. They don't steal the way we are doing here. One man will own maybe 40 or 50 properties in the FCT because he has entered the political position in the government. It is a terrible thing. It is worrisome and it is disturbing. I pity the upcoming generation. Is this what we're going to bequeath to them? It's very unfortunate to say. You see, when we look at the West, Europe and the US and all that, you come to find out that the leadership there are people whose values are different from what we have here. The leaders are not thinking of owning properties all over the world. Go to Dubai, buying like primitive acquisition. They'll buy houses in Dubai, buy in UK, buy in the US, buy in Caribbean. It's a cost. If you go to their houses, you see no less than 20 to 30 vehicles, and they enjoy it. They like moving in convoy of not less than 20, 30 vehicles at a time, so that they'll be the people that are calling the shots. In the US, if you are a governor of, let me give you an instance like California, which is the richest state in the US. You, as a governor, if you dare put on convoy, you will not stay more than 24 hours in that office as governor of California. You cannot. I gave you an instance the other time that in 2005, I went to eat in a restaurant. The governor of Texas drove in. He came alone. I didn't even know him. It was my late friend who took me out that was telling me that this man is the governor of Texas. If it were in Nigeria, they'll drive away everybody in that restaurant. Or convoy with escort, police, DSS, military, everybody would have gone down the whole of the restaurant. Try it in America. The next day you are gone, and you may go to prison for even trying that. Who are you as a governor in the US for you to take a private jet? What they are doing here, this scam they are doing here and calling themselves governors. You dare not. If you try it, you pay through you tell them where you're going to get the money from to go and charter a jet. You enter the commercial jet and sit like every other person. Nobody cares. Nobody will be accompanying you to the airport, clearing everywhere. People will be carrying bags. No, it's terrible. I landed in JFK 216. I was in the business class with one of the governors. He queued over there and he behaved himself. He cannot jump the queue. If he jumps the queue, he may end up not even entering US. They'll put him on the next flight and
I live in Italy. Last month I had a daughter and a wife. Though I work alone, I just arrived home and in my letter box I had a letter and it was from the state government addressing to me that to cushion the effect of the high inflation in Italy, I'm entitled to go to the nearest post office to get a credit card. That in that credit card, the exchange rate, if I have to compare with the currency in current Nigeria currency, I have almost about 400,000 naira just for me to manage with my family because they understand that the situation is kind of, is bad. But it's not that things were really bad for me. That is how government government works. That is how government works. I didn't have to go and stay on the line. I didn't even make any call. Just went to my house without me asking for it. And I'm not an Italian citizen. Don't get me wrong. I'm not an Italian citizen. I work here. So if they can identify me, still, not even their citizen. So how do somebody in Nigeria who is a citizen be thrown back of sight as if we live in a refugee camp? Even in a refugee camp, they don't even happen like that. You understand? It's a shame. We could be laughing and we could be talking. The crisis in Nigeria is more than normal. It is so obvious. Like even a blind man can say, I'm tired, I'm fed up with the system. We should tread caution now because we are already on the edge. And it's not that when something happens, then the Westerners will not come and say, no, we don't support anything, we don't do this, we don't. They have been saying that the people have been complaining, and nobody is coming to our aid because they are happy that our government is giving us one cup of rice because it will show to them that we are poor, and they will continue to give us aid, and the leaders are happy. They are cashing out.
Voice of the People 90.3 FM. Dr. Charles Adeogun is here, everyone, and of course it's Doctor's Mike. Yeah, Doctor's Mike is on air right now. My name is Jude, and of course, Doctor, say hello to everyone.
Hello, everybody. Good morning. How are you doing today?
All right. Feel free to send your message right now. Like I always say, please send in your messages. Use our WhatsApp number, okay? 081 717 56338. 081 717 56338. Okay, you can send in your messages in case you want to ask him a question. All right, that's fine. But for today, we won't talk about thyroid. You know, thyroid disorders. It's prevalent. It's killing. It's disturbing. And I felt, hey, let me ask a doctor so he can tell us everything we need to know about this particular disorder. Doctor, talk to us, please.
Thank you very much. The thyroid gland is medical names anyway. You have thyroxine and triiodothyronine. Those are big names, but it's easier.
Okay.
It's easy to remember as T3 and T4.
Okay, better.
But there are also certain processes that these hormones control in the body. So hormones are chemical messengers that are produced by ductless glands in the body. Once they are secreted into the bloodstream, they bring up some responses from other sites in the body. So they are chemical messengers, so to say. So if you are producing too much of the thyroid hormones, you are going to be having what is referred to as hyperthyroidism, meaning that your thyroid is overactive and is putting out a lot of these hormones into your system. And the kind of symptoms you manifest will be different from when the thyroid is underactive and you're not producing enough of those hormones. So like we always say, everything in the body falls within a normal range. You have lower limit of normal, you have upper limit of normal. If something is too much, of metabolism is too high, and then the body is just calling for more food, and your metabolism is too high, and then the body is just calling for more food and using up the food as quickly as possible, and the person may also be having frequency of bowel movement. So normally, if you have anybody who says, well, I'm just seated, but I don't know why my heart is always racing. My heart is always as if I just ran a race, or I'm always sweating when others are not sweating. I have sweaty palms, or you always feel this kind of nervous feeling, or sometimes it comes with anxiety feelings. You may need to check your thyroid function. And your thyroid function can be done by a simple blood test where these parameters are assessed. So you can evaluate your T3, T4, and TSH, which is a thyroid stimulating hormone, is another important hormone that is produced by the pituitary gland, which is a gland that is very close to the brain that controls the activities of other glands. So the TSH stimulates the thyroid, as necessary. If the thyroid is not working well enough, the TSH levels will be high to stimulate thyroid production. And if you are hyperthyroid, the TSH level will be low because the thyroid is already overworking. So it's very necessary for us to know the important signs and symptoms to watch out for. And sometimes when people have thyroid problems, they may have a little swelling on their neck, that we call a goiter. You just see something like a bulge,
of course.
people's necks. So when they swallow, you see the thing move up and down, and then that's the thyroid gland that is really enlarged. And then that can also come with some other issues with change in the pitch or tone of the voice, hoarseness of the voice. Yeah. And in some people, they may need to undergo a surgery, called a thyroidectomy to manage the condition. So basically, most people that are hyperthyroid will have all the symptoms I highlighted earlier: the tremors, shakiness, increased bowel movement, sweating a lot, palpitations, all those things are classic signs of hyperthyroidism. But on the other side, for people who have underactive thyroid, they are gaining weight without knowing why, unintentional weight gain, and they may not necessarily be eating so much. They may have constipation. It's almost like the reverse of the initial one, because now the thyroid is underactive. They may be sluggish. They may have memory decline or cognitive decline. They may have this lethargy. They're just always weak. There's no energy to do anything. And then occasionally they may also have dry skin. They may have very, very dry skin, quas skin appearance. All those are pointing towards hypothyroidism. And for women that have thyroid dysfunction, they may have menstrual irregularities. They notice that it's either they are bleeding too much, or they have scanty periods, or they may even have fertility-related issues.
Is it that serious?
Yes. Sometimes a woman's infertility issues, may be due to irregularities in her period from a thyroid disorder. So when you are doing your infertility screenings, it's very important that you do a thyroid profile so that you are able to rule out the possibility of a thyroid disorder, as one of the attributable factors, that are, affecting the person's infertility. So it's very necessary that we are aware of the thyroid gland. The thyroid gland is very important, like we said, in metabolism. And a lot of people can even have we all know that the goiter is caused by iodine deficiency. Everybody says, how does iodine relate to the thyroid? Iodine is important in the production of thyroid hormones. So most times when people are iodine deficient, they may start having.
But the big question is, how do you treat that?
Yeah, good question. Most people, depending on what they have, whether it's hyperthyroidism or hypothyroidism, the first thing is that you get your diagnosis correct. So you see your doctor when you have any of these symptoms. Proper investigations are done. Your diagnosis is confirmed. And then if you are hypothyroid, you're going to need thyroid replacement, thyroid hormone replacement. So there are some, medications that we give that you have to be on long term so that you get your thyroid hormones back to what they should be, so that you have normal effects. And for people that are hyperthyroid, there are also drugs we give. We call them anti-thyroid drugs. They are able to reduce the level of the excessive thyroid hormone. And then they may also give you some classes of drugs we call beta blockers. Those beta blockers, sometimes hypertensive patients use it because it helps to slow down your heart rate. When you are palpitating, it helps with the tremors. And then it also helps to make sure that the thyroid hormones return back to what they should be. Because thyroid dysfunction in itself, can really make a person go haywire. You don't know what is wrong with you. A lot of things are changing very quickly in your body. And then even it can affect your mood and your mental state, because a person who is hyperthyroid can get angry easily, can be easily irritable, and can also have anxiety issues and sleep disturbances, which can also come up with all sorts of things cropping up again. And people that have low thyroid function can have memory decline. They can be sluggish, they're forgetful, and then they notice that the ability to focus and concentrate, is not the same. They can have this brain fog and all that, as well as sleep disturbances as well. So there's treatment for it. The important thing is for you to know exactly what your diagnosis is. And that's why we always say on the program that go to see a doctor, let a doctor evaluate you, and let a doctor give you the right diagnosis. That is the only way you can get the treatment correct. Because if your diagnosis is wrong, nothing can be done to help you.
But do you need any form of surgery?
Yeah, in some cases, people need to undergo what we call a thyroidectomy, where the thyroid gland is removed. Part of the thyroid gland or the whole thyroid gland may be removed. And that surgery too has its own complications. So because it's a surgery, it must be absolutely necessary for you to go for that surgery. That's why
discussed today kidney disease. Kidney, I don't know if I should say it's a killer disease now.
Yes, it is. It
is, right?
It is.
Tell us about kidney disease.
Their main function is in excretion and then fluid and electrolyte balance in the body. But for most people who have kidney problems, they don't usually realize it in the early stages. That's the simple, basic stuff at the beginning. Make sure that you stay well hydrated. You get about 2 to 3 liters of water a day. We live in the tropics. Our climate is quite hot, so you sweat. It causes kidney complications at the end of the day, and then you just find out that the person of dialysis already. So a lot of people, should realize that, a stitch in time saves 9. It doesn't cost you much to go to the hospital to get yourself checked. But if you don't do that, the expenses that will come with you managing the kidney condition is unbearable.
Is there, I want to ask you, is there a stage where you ask someone to stop taking salt?
Well,
at
salt,
a particular age, someone will tell you, no, salt is no longer good for me.
Salt is important. Salt is important because it contains some of the vital electrolytes that your body needs. Salt is needed even for, tasting food. You can't just start eating a tasteless meal. It's not going to be appealing to you. But the truth is the quantity of the salt is what matters. And then at what point do you add salt to your food? Some people cook food and they add salt to already cooked food that is served. That is absolutely wrong because you're going to another thing to go up. So it's necessary that you only add minimal salt, to taste, for your food while you're cooking. And that's all. You don't need to take excessively. And then the condiments you add or the seasonings you add, the MSGs and whatever people add to their food to make it more appealing and all that, you need to really minimize consumption of those things. Salt is very relevant in our bodies, and we need a healthy amount of salt, but not anything excessive. Because salt
is asking a question, though. The person says, though, it's not what we're discussing, it's a different thing. But then I feel there's one thing the person really wants to, like, something that has been bothering him or her. I don't know. He says, permit me to ask, though not exactly the topic, that's been discussed. What causes bedwetting, even at age 18 and above? And what can be done to control it? Thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
Bedwetting, it has a medical term called enuresis. That's what it's called, whereby a person, unknowingly wets themselves and, pee in bed. You don't expect people that are grown to have that, but it happens. So you may start thinking, okay, so what are the possible causes? For a child, it could be just hyperactivity during the day, taking lots of fluid or water, just close to bedtime. But for the adults that is having that, then we need to properly evaluate the adult.
Alarm go wake who?
That some people don't respond when alarm even rings, right? They are deeply asleep.
Oh God.
But it's
some children will sleep so deep. Alarm. Leave alarm.
But it's a real.
So I'm not thinking if maybe something retired around their wrist.
Well,
that disturbs them to wake up.
You
don't see when they tap one small pikin to wake up. Tap on like 5 minutes. They wake up.
But there are some and psychological evaluation so that you are able to pinpoint where the problem is and give the right medication. So there are medications that help to control the bladder contraction and all that, and that helps to relax the bladder and ultimately help with the bedwetting. And then sometimes you may need to place them on some kind of antidepressant medications to that help. Yeah.
Someone is asking, let me read. I think, this person is just talking about, I might not be able to take calls, okay? In fact, I don't know. I encourage WhatsApp messages, okay? I encourage WhatsApp messages. 081 717 56338 081 717 5633. Just send me a WhatsApp message. Now, this person is talking about infection that's been there for a while. You're taking treatment and it goes a little bit, and after a while it comes back again, and you go back. It's just been like that. How far? Well, how do we, tackle that?
Most times when people say infection is a broad topic. So I want to believe you're referring to a sexually transmitted infection.
Doctor, when somebody say I get infection, you know what?
But the truth is, we need to know what exactly you have, because when it comes to STIs, you have a whole family of infections, that can be potentially the cause of what he's experiencing. And sometimes you even have multiple infections in one person. So it may not just be a single type of infection. So I would advise that he goes for a proper, complete STI screening. You screen for all the potential STIs. Do the right culture tests, which may include, I don't know if it's a male or a female, but if it's a male, you will go for your urethral swab culture. If you're having a discharge, you go for your urinalysis and urine culture. and then you make sure you do it at a good, center or a good facility where their results are accurate and precise, because you need to understand that if your diagnosis is not right, your treatment cannot be right. We need to know the causative organism, and then we'll need to know the right sensitive drug to recommend to combat that infection. And if it's a woman, she will need to go for the high vaginal swab, the endocervical swab possibly, and then she also needs to do the urine culture, the urinalysis, the pelvic scan. She may have what we even call the pelvic inflammatory disease also, which can even get complicated and cause infertility, because STIs, that are improperly treated in males and females cause infertility.
Okay.
That's the highest cause of people having blocked fallopian tubes, leading to ectopic pregnancies or infertility. And then for the men also, they may have low sperm count and poor viable sperm.
Let me look at this question very well first. Okay. Erectile dysfunction. Exactly. I thank God you're able to. Let me break it down. Sometimes some men really don't last long. Some they don't. The JT doesn't get up at all. When I say JT, I mean John Thomas, right? It doesn't. I'm just trying to use these words, okay? It doesn't even get up at all. You try and try and try. It doesn't want to show any, some just a little bit of it. It goes back again to sleep. Yeah, yeah, it's true. I am asking these questions for some persons who might not be able to reach out. It's really giving a lot of people headache at home, especially women. Tell you he's not satisfying me at all. We have tried everything. We have bought drugs. We've gone for this. We've gone for that. In fact, I'm tired. And before you know, the woman started looking outside, kind of, to get little boys, fresh guys, young boys who would satisfy their sexual urge and all of that. And so I just feel we need to talk about it. Maybe this will be our discussion for next time. But I want to just touch on it a little, because it's a broad thing, right? Talk to us.
So erectile dysfunction is a common medical condition that affects men, and basically it's something that, the way it presents, it's either a man cannot achieve erection or cannot maintain erection enough for coitus, the sexual act. So basically when this happens, you find out that it affects the men a lot, because psychologically men are wired to keep things in and not to speak up when there's a problem. And it's particularly very embarrassing for men to discuss this topic. So a lot of men try to seek help or answers or solutions, on that G.
Yeah.
But most times, they may not get the right care they need, because they may be approaching the wrong people for help. So basically, when this happens, you want to consider a lot of things that may put the man at risk of these things. First and foremost, to achieve a good erection, you need good blood circulation and good nervous coordination. Those two must be present. And then you also want to consider the age of the man, because there's something called andropause that happens to most men between the ages of 55 and 65. Around that age, there's a natural decline in testosterone levels, which is the main sex drive hormone for men. And when that declines with age, you may find out that libido reduces, the frequency of erection reduces, the quality of erection may also be affected. Yeah, another important thing are underlying conditions. Underlying conditions like diabetes, have been known to cause erectile dysfunction, because diabetes damages the blood vessels and also can damage your nerve and give you what we call autonomic dysfunction, and all those, give rise to erectile dysfunction. Then sometimes certain medications that people are on, can also give a potential side effect of affecting the quality of erections. For people who are undergoing prostate treatment, they may be, using some medications that can produce this kind of side effect. And some people that are antihypertensives also may also produce, some antihypertensive may also produce this effect of reduced frequency of erection or reduced quality of erections. Then for people that smoke,
Okay.
And people that drink a lot of alcohol, it is not in their interest if they are dealing with erectile dysfunction, because your smoking constricts your smoking constricts the blood vessels, impeding circulation to the genitals where you need good circulation to maintain a good erection. So that's a potential effect also. Then for people that are obese, for men that are on the big side, there is an inverse relationship between testosterone levels and body fats in males. So
Okay.
the bigger the body amount of body fat a man has, the higher the potential of the man also having lower testosterone levels, because
Okay.
his hormonal status, will be such that he has more of the testosterone estrogenized. So
Get the
he may
mic
be-
close to you.
Okay, so it may be a bit feminized. We have what we call aromatase enzyme that converts the androgens to estrogen, when you have too much of body fat. So that is why for men who want good erectile function, they must be active, they must maintain a healthy body weight, they must do away with lifestyle issues or addictions that they have that are potentially harmful, like smoking and alcoholism. And then you also must try your best to get enough sleep, because stress is also a factor. People that are stressed out or who have anxiety, performance anxiety, they may always have that issue because it has happened to them over a period of time. So when they're about to do the sexual act, because of that anxiety, they are worried if they're going to perform this time or not. And the same thing, it now becomes a cycle for them. So it's important that they evaluate themselves, check hormonal status, check your sugars test, do your cholesterol screenings, and then get psychological help when necessary.
Okay. All right. How far have you been practicing? How long have you been practicing?
I've been practicing in Nigeria since 19.
Please, can you get close to the microphone? Yeah, beautiful. Thank you.
Since 1999.
Okay. Oh, 99.
Yeah. I finished my residence in 94.
Okay.
In Europe.
Okay, beautiful. Okay, you're a surgeon.
Yeah.
I just want to ask, I don't know if I have that time to ask this, because if you start now, I know there won't be time at all for you to really, talk or elaborate on it. Okay, but then, surgeries in Nigeria, I want to ask you just this one question. When it comes to surgery, people want to leave Nigeria to maybe India or maybe US or somewhere, for surgery. Is it still like that currently? Or would you advise people to remain here in Nigeria for surgeries? Do we have capable hands still in Nigeria at this time?
Yeah, we have the manpower in Nigeria. The only problem we have here in surgery is the awareness and the facilities. Maybe they are a bit short, but there are good facilities around here that offer the same treatment you can get abroad in Nigeria.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there are. It is the same specialists, the same schools we went. Those ones who are abroad too went. It's only. I think more people just believe in medical tourism. Yeah, there have been some institution that has given the Nigerian surgical practice a bad name. Yeah, which I've learned misdiagnoses and mistreatments, but this do happen all over the world. So that's my own view about it. We have very good specialists here. We have some very good facilities. Even some of them are underutilized. I think the financial capacity of many Nigerians is one thing again to access those facilities.
Okay. Well, basically, people talk about plastic surgery. That if you want to go for plastic surgery, forget about Nigeria. How true is that?
Yeah, when it comes to plastic surgery, that's a bit of a truth.
Okay.
Yes, that's a bit of the truth. We don't have institutions which are well known to be established in and doing well in plastic surgery in Nigeria. We talk about major plastic surgical procedures. I'm not just talking about cosmetic surgeries, shifting skins and removing warts and pimples or some things like that.
Yeah.
When you talk about real plastic surgical procedures that involves the structure of the bones, ankle, there are not much in Nigeria.
But do we have them at all here?
I think we do. I've not been so interested because I've not been into it. So I don't really know which ones are good.
Good in Nigeria. Okay.
Nigeria.
Okay. All right. Because of our time, we need to run, but we have a lot to discuss. All right, you and I. But we will find time again to have you around in the studio. Hope you wouldn't mind coming back.
No problem.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And of course, there are several other questions here. Someone was asking. He said, I want to know anytime I want to know anytime I wake up in the morning, and I pass out urine. It always smells. I perceive it so much. The smell is always very conk, very hard. And he's asking, am I safe? Am I really safe? So I don't know if you'd want to answer the question. Yeah. Okay. Hold on. No, you might adjust
to a urinary tract infection. So I would advise the person to stay well hydrated first and foremost. Take about 2 to 3 liters of water a day, and have your urine evaluated. You need to go for some important screening checks and possibly some culture tests.
Someone, Madam Florence, is saying here. Said, "Thank you for always responding to my questions on WhatsApp."
Oh, really?
Please, for how long should one change the glasses or go for retraction or refraction rather?
Well, it depends on what kind of refractive errors you have. Some people have multiple visual impairments or visual defects. So depending on what you have, you need to go for routine checks, and your underlying conditions that can also take a toll on your vision must also be put in check. For instance, if you're diabetic or you're hypertensive, you need to have your eyes checked frequently because those have potential visual complications. And then once you have your lenses checked and it suits you, then at least you've gotten what suits your eye defects. Because there are different types of eye defects. You have the myopia, hypermetropia, astigmatism, presbyopia. Depending on what you have, your optometrist or your ophthalmologist will be able to guide you, as to how frequently you should come for checks. But if you have any underlying condition that can affect your vision, you should pay attention to make sure you keep those under check and control too.
There are so many questions here, I can't go into this now. If you have questions, please go to Doctor's Mike on Facebook or Instagram. Yeah. You can ask your questions as much as you can there. And you can also direct some other persons there. Doctor's Mike, Doctor's Mike, DOCTOR''S, and then MIC for Mike. Doctor's Mike on Facebook. There, doctor can answer all of your questions. Okay, exactly. Yeah. Dr. Charles Adeogun, thank you so much. And Doctor, there's this name you mentioned I love so much. Lumumba. Your other name. When I hear Lumumba, I remember Patrick Lumumba. Yeah. Are you a Nigerian?
Lumumba, at the time he was a Soviet Union. So he was rounded up and locked up in Lions Building on Broad Street. And opposite, my mother at that same day was in labor in Island Maternity. So when I was born, he was told in detention that, so instead of fighting the police for their freedom, they were jubilating for my birth. So everybody around him and within them said they should give me the name Lumumba.
Wow, that's nice.
So people who are his generation, a bit below his generation, they only recognize me by that name.
Doctor, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'll have you again. Seriously, we've not started at all. We didn't see it. We didn't discuss anything. But then when you come back again, we'll talk more.
I will come back.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Everyone, this is Voice of the People 90.3 FM. It's time to go for news to come your way. My name is Jude Ikami Jude, and of course, on Instagram, on Facebook, what's it called again? Oh,